Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is ECW. You've been waiting all week for it, and now the show of the week has arrived, and we are so close to Survivor Series. It's practically 2 days away, because it really is, because I've been that shit at uploading videos this week. But anyway, after what happened last week, we know at Survivor Series, Seth Rollins will defend his ECW Championship against the man who we are going to be kicking things off with here tonight, Baron Corbin. Has a little bit of a victory to rub into Seth Rollins. Has a bit of gloating to do, and he is going to get right to it right here, right away, which should be a bit of an interesting thing to say the least. I'm wondering what Corbin's going to have to say. He's had a great success since leaving the Four Horsemen, but he knows at Survivor Series, when it rolls around, he's got to go in the ring with the greatest wrestler in the world today. And I'm wondering if he's going to show he's got the mentality for it, or if he's just going to try and talk trash to Rollins in an attempt to rile him up. That'll be the huge difference maker. Moving on from that, we're then going to have the Cruiserweight Championship on the line to kick things off here on ECW. Rich Swann of the Four Horsemen will challenge the king of the Cruiserweights, Neville, in what should promise to be an interesting affair. Rich Swann, of course, defeated Neville 2 weeks ago, has been on an unstoppable roll ever since joining the Four Horsemen, and now here tonight, the dancing sensation that he is gets a chance to dethrone the king. But it's the main event that we want to be paying attention to. On SmackDown Live, it was Alpha and Omega. Well, now it's the Bucks against the Horsemen. Kenny Omega will be at ringside for this one, but it is Matt and Nick Jackson, the WWE Tag Team Champions, against the team of Roderick Strong and Apollo Crews. No Chris Jericho in their corner, as he's recovering from what happened over on SmackDown after Kenny Omega beat him around time and time again. It'll be a very tough night of action, I think, for both sides, and with Survivor Series so close, a loss is not something they can afford to have. But before we get into anything, let's go to Baron Corbin. Well, here he is, the #1 contender. To be fair, he's not looking all that smug. He's looking focused, and that's, I think, what Baron Corbin needs to be. His first pay-per-view on his own, and what a chance it is for Corbin to walk out of Survivor Series as the ECW champion. I'm not saying he's going to do it, and I'm not saying he is going to be able to overcome Seth Rollins, but I'm saying the chance is there for him to walk out of Survivor Series as the ECW champion. Before we get into this, or before we even, of course, get to Survivor Series, we have to hear from Corbin himself, and I imagine he's feeling awfully confident about last week, and it is exactly that. Corbin going on about how last week, how much he enjoyed taking it to Seth Rollins, and how much he proved at the grand scheme of it all that Seth Rollins can be stopped. Seth Rollins can be beaten, and at Survivor Series, Seth Rollins will be dethroned, because in Baron Corbin's mind, he has what it takes. He knows the weaknesses of Seth Rollins. He beat him once, he can beat him again. That is how Baron Corbin believes it to be. The lone wolf is hungry, and it's time to beat up, and it's time to take away what Seth Rollins cares about the most. So at Survivor Series, Baron Corbin wants the best out of Rollins. He wants Rollins to give it his all, so that when he beats him, and when he takes his title away from him, it'll feel even sweeter. Corbin isn't doing this for the Horsemen. He's not doing this for tyranny against ECW. He's doing it because it's what he wants. Corbin, short, sweet, and to the point. This Sunday, he wants to take that title away from Seth Rollins, and he wants to do everything in his power in order to make sure that that happens. It will not be the only time we see Baron Corbin here tonight. He's in action later on. Of course, as I said at the start of the show, now we move on to the Cruiserweight Championship match. When you look at this match and you look at how this one shapes up, you got to think that it's kind of in the same scene of things as Baron Corbin and Seth Rollins is. And I'll explain why. You think about it. Both these, Swann and Neville have had a match before. The challenger beat the champion, and now there's worry over whether or not the champion will be able to get the job done. However, here's the difference. And as ECW General Manager, of course, I've come to know this. Neville, he can make mistakes. He's been defeated in the past, but and there's actually a chance he could be defeated here tonight. I was going to make a point to defend Neville, but I've just thought about it, and I've just realised that Swann, you know, like I said, since joining the Horsemen, he's been great. He's been on a complete kind of warpath, essentially, and has a chance here tonight to already capture the Cruiserweight Championship. The difference is that, you know, between Neville and Rollins is that Rollins just is better. Rollins is the best wrestler in the world. He is the greatest wrestler alive. Neville isn't that. Neville may well be the king of the Cruiserweights, but he's not the king that Seth Rollins is. And I think Neville needs to be aware of that. Swann is a different breed, you know. He's full of that fiery attitude that we see from him, and he's full of that kind of instant charisma. Baron Corbin isn't full of that in that aspect, so it's more difficult for Neville to bring to a halt. Seth Rollins can just bring Baron Corbin to a halt. The longer a match goes on, the more you start to question if Corbin can survive it, because we've never seen Corbin go for a very lengthy kind of match. And I mean, it was only like 3 months ago that we saw Rollins endure himself through a 40-minute 3 stages of hell. It was not a 2 out of 3 falls, it was 3 stages of hell, deliberately. So that just kind of goes to show the difference there between those two, between the 2 title matches that we're talking about. But of course, you know, you want to talk about title matches, can't ignore the other title match we've got coming up in Survivor Series from the ECW brand, the ECW Television Championship up for grabs when Bobby Roode challenges Aleister Black. Now, Bobby Roode will be in action later on tonight, so that should be a bit of an interesting one, I think, to look at, to watch, and to just see what will happen and how Roode will square off. Roode, he didn't ask for an opponent. He asked, you know, he just said, give me anyone and I'll face them. So it'll be interesting to see who anyone is. But before we get, of course, to any of that, we have the Cruiserweight Championship match to focus on here. The champion Neville, looking as disgusted as ever, as horrified as he usually is, and just focused on one thing alone, and that would be victory and retaining his Cruiserweight Championship here over Rich Swann. He has held that belt now since Money in the Bank back in July, and he looks to continue holding on to it past Rich Swann and past Survivor Series. Swann is ready. He knows what he's got to do. The same goes for Neville. Let's just see who will walk out with that Cruiserweight Championship gold. This one is about to get underway, and we'll see right from the start who is gonna be able to take control and what kind of mindset they're going to employ. Neville with a bit of a cheap forearm, I guess you can say, before the collar and elbow tie-up, but it's Rich Swann taking him to the ropes. Swann, of course, wouldn't have had the other teachings. Oh, there's a cheap shot by Neville. Wouldn't have had the teachings from Chris Jericho and Roderick Strong this week, because I think of the focus that has to be put onto Survivor Series, onto the Elite, everything that's going on there. Just a bit too much for them to focus on telling Rich Swann what to do, which is a bit of a shame in its own right, because this is such an important match for Swann. He needs all the help he can get, I believe. But it is a matter of having to get his head down and just think about what he has been taught in this short period of time, and seeing if it can will him on towards the title. Big powerbomb there by Neville, but it's a good counter by Rich Swann. Step up enziguri, and the champ goes down quickly. What will Rich Swann be able to do here? I mean, you think about how Neville's changed up his offense as of late. He's gone for a much more slower kind of match. He wrestles a hell of a lot more just in his own way. You know, he's trying to frustrate the opponent. He's trying to take away all the speed that an opponent should have, and just wrestling in his own style. Swann is, you know, that, I guess, I don't want to say typical, but that kind of ideological Cruiserweight style. Speed, quickness, agility, high-flying moves. Neville can execute them all, but he just doesn't choose to all the time. He can hit quick moves, but he likes to hit them, you know, few and far between. He likes to go for those slow moves. He likes to go for the big moves, like this powerbomb he's about to hit again, which lays out Rich Swann there. It's a smart idea by Neville, because it really catches the Cruiserweights off guard, and it really forces them to wrestle a different style of match that I don't think they're used to. Neville now brings in Swann. Has him way up in the air and down for the brainbuster. Swann trying to get up to his feet here. Neville realizes that as he rushes up to the top rope now, and a big drop kick sends Rich Swann down. The champ has taken the early control in this one. Cover on Swann, and he kicks that at 1. Neville really proving that when he's got to defend his championship, when it's time, he is always raring to go, and he's always ready to give his opponents an incredibly tough battle. Swann calling Neville up to his feet there, I think, for a second as he starts to get some control going here. Swann starting to feel a little bit of, I don't know, I mean, he was getting into the swing of things there as he hit that super kick. And he's trying to get this crowd to will him on here towards the title. Be a big start to ECW if we crowned a new Cruiserweight champion. Big roundhouse kick by Swann. And will he take it to the top now? He will. Swann will look for the Phoenix Splash. He beat Neville with this a few weeks ago. And he could beat him with it tonight. Phoenix Splash on the money. And with 1. Oh my God, 1. Nothing more than that. Just a 1 count on the champion. Guess Swann has got a hell of a lot more to do if he wants to win that title. Neville, though, is the one on the back foot here. What will Swann do now? Up on that second rope again. Neville sidesteps him in a big forearm. Neville has the time and the composure. What would he look to do here? Turns him round. Reverse Hurricanrana there. Planted him. And Swann could be in trouble for whatever Neville has in mind. This isn't usually... I don't think I've seen Neville do this before. Neville with the rings of Saturn locked in on Rich Swann. Usually goes for the red arrow at this point if he's going to go for a finisher. But this looks to be the difference instead. This is a huge talking point about Neville changing up his offense. We just changed up his finisher to try and win this one. Swann, though, getting his way out of it. Elbows in the arm. Elbow to Neville. Fights his way out of that one. That was tough. But Rich Swann keeps his championship hopes alive here in the corner now. Trying to unload away with strikes, and Neville was having none of that one. Ducks under, but gets caught with a clothesline. Swann is aware of what he needs to do, and he's catching the Cruiserweight champion off guard here. I think it's forcing Neville to make a lot of mistakes. What will Swann look for now? He's going again to the legs here of Neville, just stomping into them repeatedly. Now he's trying to take away all the high-flying aspects to Neville. Perhaps something that Neville should have looked at right from the start. What do we see here? Nothing there as Neville pulls out the counter to it. Creates an opening here with Rich Swann. Michinoku driver. Neville hoping it's enough to retain the title into the cover right after it. There's 2 and Swann out again at 2. Neville getting out of the ring here. His frustration getting to him, it seems. Oh my God, Neville, the champ just grabbed a steel chair. Why would Neville do such a thing? He's got a chair right now. Rich Swann right. Oh, he catches Swann with a chair shot. And now the referee calls for the bell. Neville had had enough. Neville snapped all of a sudden. The champion couldn't take it any longer. Swann wins, but Neville retains his title due to the DQ. He looked happy about that one, didn't he? Neville seemed to love what he was doing there. Just laying into him with that steel chair. Man, there you go. There was the proof. Neville was feeling a weakness almost. He was feeling like Swann was about to take the title from him maybe, and he was forced to act in desperation. Neville retains the title, but he did not win this match at all. Rich Swann had his number, and soon enough, and maybe if Neville didn't go for that steel chair, Rich Swann could have his belt. Neville better keep his eyes open, because don't think for a second I'm done with these two men going at it. If anything, Neville's just ignited the need for another match even more. Well, there we go. That's an interesting way to kick things off here in ECW, and Neville showing his attitude and his, I guess, do anything attitude. to hold on to that title. But we're going to move on now to our next contest. It is going to be Sami Callihan against Tomasso Ciampa. Ciampa on his own while Gargano is out, and he wants to make sure that people realize right from the start what he's capable of. Callihan and Ciampa up next. From one cruiserweight to another, I guess you could say, in Tomasso Ciampa, but this is a guy who is looking to get back on the winning side of things. This is a man we haven't seen in a couple weeks. This is Sami Callihan coming towards the ring. Made his debut in this universe, of course, at Guilty as Anarchy Rules. I keep on getting that one wrong. Showed a lot of fight and desire there, and well, the problem was for Callihan was he never got to have a shot at the title. He kind of got, well, he had his opportunity to, wow, okay, he had his opportunity to go for the belt, but when he was given the chance to win it, he didn't do it. You know, he lost. He didn't get the title shot. I think that one went to Samoa Joe, I believe, and now he's got to try and turn his attention towards getting back towards that shot at Aleister Black. Seems to be the person he has his eyes set on, as do a lot of people in this division, and as maybe does Tomasso Ciampa, who comes towards the ring here. As I said, Ciampa on his own right now. Since what happened to Gargano back on ECW a few weeks ago, we had DIY against the Wyatt family. Gargano was refusing to give in, refusing to say I quit, and as a result of it, the guy just passed out in Braun Strowman's triangle choke, and he was basically broken and battered from it. And Ciampa said that as horrific of an injury as it was, he will not give in and he will not give up. He dedicates everything he does in the ring from now on until his return to Johnny Gargano. Gargano deserves it, and Ciampa wants to pick up some wins, not in the name of Tomasso Ciampa, but in the name of DIY. Unity still there, despite him being on his own, and you've got to respect that. One thing Sami Callihan, though, and Tomasso Ciampa both have in common is getting those wins. So let's see who's going to get it here tonight. It's a great start by Callihan thus far, exploding out of the blocks here. Big knee, and a discus clothesline. This is the start that Sami Callihan was looking for, just exploding out of the blocks on Ciampa, using his weight advantage there. Ciampa's back just crashing off these turnbuckle pads, almost like Jericho, on SmackDown Live, just smashing into those exposed turnbuckle pads, and took a hell of a beating as a result of it. Jericho will be at Survivor Series this Sunday, but as for right now, he's not looking too good. Ciampa being battered early on here. Not too sure. I'll be honest, I really didn't expect to see this from Ciampa. He's got to try and fight Don a little bit here. Back in the ring he gets after countering that one, and there's an STO. And the Psycho Killer gets something going here. Maybe, I was about to say, maybe this will be a bit of a difference for Ciampa fighting on his own, but he's had his experience in being in singles matches. Former Cruiserweight Champion, runner-up in this year's King of the Ring. Ciampa's had those chances to stand out on his own and prove that he can fight anyone, and he can certainly last on his own. We'll see how he's able to last against Sami Callihan right now. He's taking control in this match. He's taken off the turnbuckle pad as well. Talking about Omega and Jericho doing something like that, and then Ciampa goes and does it. Big back suplex there. Ciampa feeling the pain of that one. Callihan into the cover here. Can he pick up oh my god, he couldn't even pick up a 1 count as a result of it. Very early kick out. Ciampa right back up to his feet here and right back into the swing of things. Callihan though with a quick counter. This is quite a good start by both men, to be fair. Callihan now has Ciampa up on his shoulders. Oh my god, is he going to take him to the... No. Oh, but he hangs him out to dry on the ropes. I thought he was going to take him to the turnbuckle there. Imagine if he had just dropped him face first onto that turnbuckle rung. That would have seriously messed up Tomasso Ciampa, and I mean it messed up Chris Jericho. As I said before, the buckle bombs he took into it, the Irish whips. Chris Jericho was bruised, battered and defeated on SmackDown Live. I don't think Tomasso Ciampa wants to end up like that, but neither does Sami Callihan. Nice shin breaker there, and Ciampa will go up to the top rope. Not all the time Ciampa likes to go up here, but this one could be good. Big elbow drop Huge flight by Ciampa into the cover on Callihan, but he can't even get a 2 count from it. Ciampa all of a sudden is really in the driving seat of this matchup. To the outside goes Sami Callihan, and look at the Psycho Killer here, willing himself on, headbutting the turnbuckle pad, as if to be kind of a way of prepping himself up. Callihan now, what is he going to do on the outside? Twist of fate of all things on the outside. If you got thin padding, you might as well use it to your advantage, and that is exactly what he just did. Now sends Ciampa back into the ring here. What is he doing? Has him hung out on the apron, and oh, corkscrew neck breaker. Ouch. I did not expect to see that one there from Sami Callihan. Oh, is he going to do it again? He is. As if one wasn't bad enough, Ciampa's going to feel the wrath of 2 here. That is a very unorthodox move. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But Sami Callihan knows how to use it to his advantage. And, okay, you don't need to do a yeah, he's doing a third. We are seeing almost an overkill now of these by Sami Callihan. God, I hope Ciampa can fight back from this. Otherwise, we're going to be... There we go. Ciampa does do exactly that. And we're back in the ring. How's he going to feel after taking 3 of those things on the outside? Can he still fight Donya? Well, there's the answer. Yes, he can. Because there's the armbar. Stitched in deep. As he leaps over him. But look at how quickly Callihan got out of it. And look at what a way he got out of it as well. Locked Ciampa in by his arm and was able to kind of flip his way out of it. In position now and plants him down. With like an Alabama slam bomb there by Sami Callihan. The Callihan death machine continues on. We're going to see here a lovely elbow drop. That's all we'll see from Callihan. Oh, what a knee there in the head. Sami Callihan showing no remorse here. Has him up on his shoulders. What could we see? Death Valley driver. That's exactly what we'll see. And he's waiting for Ciampa to get to his feet now. All the work he's done on the head is really panning out here. And it may be that he's done all of it for this. In position, plants him down with the headlock driver. Cover by Callihan. And it's victory for Sami Callihan as well. Ciampa wanted to stand out on his own, but he doesn't get that chance to just yet. Sami Callihan, your winner, and a return to form for the Callihan Death Machine. What an impressive match that was, and Tomasso Ciampa seems aware of it. Look at this by both men. A handshake and a show of respect. Ciampa may well have lost, but he is not defeatist at all. And he is by no means a loser either. A good, a very entertaining match and a very good show of respect. A strong show of respect by both men at the end of it. Sami Callihan wins, and he can celebrate that one. And I imagine he is awfully happy with the job that he has done here tonight. Well, we'll see what this will mean for Callihan coming out of Survivor Series. Keep your eyes peeled for what I have in store for him after that win. But we're going to move on now. Speaking of wins, we've got the man who this Sunday is destined to perhaps have a huge win as he could take the ECW Television Championship away from the Wyatt family. Coming up next, Bobby Roode against whoever steps up to the plate. Well, Bobby Roode was ambitious in wanting to take on anyone. We'll see if it's a good decision or not any minute now. Roode, who of course, he's got a lot of confidence within him, considering he's taking on Aleister Black for the Television Championship, and I think last week certainly has a thing to do about it. Roode, following Aleister Black's victory, following Aleister Black's victory, didn't even get to face Roddy Strong last week. He was about to before Bobby Roode laid into him with the steel chair and laid him out on the in the ring even. Bobby Roode did an attempt to prove that at Survivor Series the championship is coming home with the glorious one. Just maintains though to be seen if that will actually happen And it's important for Roode here tonight, if he wants it to happen, that he is going to be the winner of this whole match. That he is going to overcome whoever steps up to the plate here to face him. And that the Glorious One can walk into Survivor Series as confident as he always is, as cocky as he always is, and walk out the new ECW television champion. Black's had a strong title reign. Black's done a great job as television champion. But let's see if he can overcome the test of Bobby Roode. Whatever happens, whether or not he'll overcome the test, whether or not he'll be the winner, I think it's still going to be a great match to watch. I think it's still going to be an incredibly entertaining bout between two, incredible wrestlers in their own style. Roode, a very, he's slow. He likes to work technically. He likes to weigh down the body, and he also likes to put on a show as well. Aleister Black is all about just strikes as hard as you can hit them. If a tusk flies out of the opponent, then you know you're doing a good thing. That's how, in the mindset of Aleister Black, he likes to work. Roode will win when he thinks it is the prime chance to get the victory. Aleister Black will win when his opponent cannot stand for a second longer. So it's going to be a very kind of tale of two, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I've blanked on it. Whatever it is. We'll move on from that, and we're going to find out who will be facing Bobby Roode right here, right... Oh, God. Oh, well, we haven't seen you in a few weeks, have we? It's feeding time for Braun Strowman. Here he is. Braun Strowman heading towards the ring with one simple thing in mind, and that is decimating the man who will face a brother of his in the Wyatt family at Survivor Series. This isn't a Braun Strowman's hungry and he wants to beat someone up. This is Bray Wyatt telling them what to do so he can find a way to weaken Bobby Roode's chances of walking out of Survivor Series with that title. Oh my goodness. Here he is, the monster among men. The last time we saw Braun Strowman, he sent Johnny Gargano to the hospital. He incapacitated Gargano and made him pass out. And now, here tonight, Braun Strowman may look to do the same to Bobby Roode. Roode running right at him. That's like running into a goddamn train. And Bobby Roode is on his way to being the wreck from Braun Strowman. Let's just pay attention to what Strowman will do in this one. This is almost this is in its own way the tale of two styles combining, or combating one another, because Strowman's just as hard as you can hit someone and as often as you can hit someone. But the difference, Strowman goes in the way of beat someone up until they can't stand anymore. The only difference is Aleister Black's, he has his weaknesses, and Roode would be kind of 50-50 with him. And then you just look at Braun Strowman and you realize that this isn't a 50-50 kind of match. This is a monster against, just a regular person, really. Just a normal athlete. And Braun Strowman is anything but that. Roode trying to use his speed there to get out of it, and all he did was just guarantee himself another move from Braun Strowman. Well, Strowman seems to be having fun getting, taking care of business already, and you got to think wherever he is, Aleister Black is deeply enjoying this one as well. Oh, look at that punch. Such power in that punch that Bobby Roode was brought off his feet by it. In the corner now, and a running splash by Strowman just sends him down. Don't think Strowman's done though. He's got a bit of strength to show off. Look at the difference in Braun Strowman. He doesn't go for the pin. He doesn't decide, I'll try and win the match now. He just stays on beating up his opponent, and he knows when he's going to win, and then he'll go for the pinfall. Roode with a DDT. Trying to find himself some kind of opening here as the Glorious One. I wouldn't take this one slowly if I were you, Roode, but look at this. He's got the arm of Strowman. It's like he stamps right on the hand there stomping right on it, trying to almost break the hand of Braun Strowman, trying to take the running power slam away from him in some respects. Bobby Roode has found an opening, and he's trying to capitalize, trying to screw over the Wyatt family's plan, and trying to head into Survivor Series, still somewhere near 100%. But imagine how big a win over Braun Strowman would be. This is a man who's only lost once, and he wasn't even pinned when that happened. Bobby Roode is doing a good job right now. Big neck breaker to Strowman, and the stomps continue on here. What will Roode look for right now? Well, there we go. I guess you had your fun in games, but now it's time to return back to reality. Spine buster by Strowman. Didn't even drop down to hit it. He just stayed up on his feet and watched Bobby Roode fly out of his hands. Roode, though, still fighting back. He's trying to use anything he can to his advantage here. The blow from behind, but oh my god. Just arm dragged like he was nothing. And Strowman in position here for the Sidewinder powerbomb. Dumps him off there on his gut. And you know what Strowman wants to do next. It's just all about when he'll hit it. And when he wants to end this one. Look at Roode up to his feet. And all of a sudden able to fight back right away. May not have been the smartest idea that he's ever come up with. Oh my god. A clubbing blow, and Roode is busted open because of it. And Roode may be on his way to a big defeat that could shape the tale of Survivor Series. Strowman, the running power slam into the cover, hooks the leg with 1, 2. No, Bobby Roode kicks out, and Braun Strowman can hardly believe it. Bray Wyatt must be watching this, and he must be livid. Seeing Bobby Roode kicking out of that, and Braun Strowman's now snapped. Just sent him launching after he kicked out of that one. Got Wyatt, Strowman is anything but happy. And again, when is he happy? Let's be honest, but well, maybe when he gets to beat someone up. But Bobby Roode is making it incredibly difficult to continue beating him up. He's up to his feet now, and he's taking the fight to Strowman. The spine buster to Strowman. Oh my god. Just lifted 400 pounds up like it was nothing. 400 plus pounds, should I say. Roode in position. Looked like he wanted the glorious DDT there, but Strowman was in the ropes, so that wasn't happening. Roode trying to think tactically here. He's wounded. He's busted open. And he's trying to find an opening maybe to recover. Roode, no, he's not looking to recover. He's looking to go right for it here. Roode, oh, kick to the gut, denied. Flattened down there by Strowman's huge arm. No chance of victory. Oh, here it is. Here it is. The arm triangle choke. The very move that sent Johnny Gargano to the hospital after he passed out in the ring. Roode is in the same predicament. Will Roode stay in this one, or will he go limp as well? Roode is fighting here. The #1 contender to Black's TV title continues to fight. But oh, Strowman makes him pay. Strowman continuing to try and make him pay there, but look at how often Roode, look at the speed of Roode as he's able to fight out of everything. Roode up on the second rope now. The glorious one calling Strowman up to his feet. Will this pan out the way he wants it to? It will. A blockbuster from the second rope. Into the cover on Strowman now. And oh my god. Didn't even get a 1 count. Got to give credit to Roode. He didn't back down from Strowman. And he's still fighting despite being busted open. Oh, but I don't think he's fighting for much longer. Strowman with another running power slam. Thank you for coming. Oh, he's in the ropes. Strowman must be getting livid now. 2 chances to put this match away. And on both times, Roode has fought out of it. The spear by Roode. Imagine the scenes if Roode beat Strowman. Imagine how incredible that would be heading into Survivor Series, but Braun Strowman is doing everything in his power to deny it, and now he's had enough. Strowman with another arm triangle choke, and he doesn't seem to be doing it in the same fashion. It seems to be way tighter locked in here on Bobby Roode. This will be a task in itself for Roode to get out of. Braun Strowman trying to squeeze the very life out of Roode, and he may well have done that. Roode's gone limp. Roode's out, and Strowman seems happy. Victory for Braun Strowman. And Bobby Roode, once again, would rather have passed out than tapped out. But what does that mean heading into Survivor Series? What does that mean for Bobby Roode's chance of becoming the ECW television champion? Has he thrown it all up in smokes in the chance to fight against Braun Strowman? Well, and for his sake, I hope not. And for the sake of the Survivor Series match, I hope not as well. Roode was busted open, and he was beaten down. Strowman, your winner here. But there still may be hope that the Glorious One can make it to Survivor Series. Whether or not that'll happen, I guess we'll find out on Sunday. I believe he will, but if he is going to make it to Survivor Series, does he stand a chance of winning the gold? We'll find out when we get there. There's a win for Strowman, and I bet Wyatt and Black are awfully happy about it. We're going to move on now to our next contest. We saw him once already tonight, and we're going to see him again. Baron Corbin, the #1 contender for the ECW Championship, goes one-on-one against Samoa Joe. I'm excited for this one, I gotta be honest. I mean, don't think I put Baron Corbin in this match and not Seth Rollins, to try and put Corbin at a disadvantage ahead of this Sunday. That's not the case at all. I put him in this match because he knows the caliber of athlete he is. I know the caliber of athlete he is, and he knows that he's got to do everything in his power to beat Samoa Joe here tonight. Joe is a tough opponent. Rollins is going to be even tougher. Corbin loves to fight and loves to prove that he's great. Well, then why don't you do it in another match, sweetheart? And I think anything to try and build up that confidence in Baron Corbin, because I've iterated this so many times. I think Corbin, without a doubt, is a future ECW champion. The key term to pay attention to there is future. Future, not now. Later on, because the present lies in Seth Rollins. And believe me when I say the present is going to go on for a good length of time. Seth Rollins is at the peak of his career. He is unstoppable right now. He has had a fantastic 2017. He has single-handedly redesigned, rebuilt, and reclaimed ECW in his own mindset. He got rid of the cancer that swore to kill this brand, and in his own right ushered in a new era and a new time for greatness. Look at the flock of talent that we have. Look at how incredible this roster is. Look at how amazing the shows are week in and week out. There's only so much myself as a general manager can do. When you've got someone like Seth Rollins helping you out as well, you know when something's good, and you know when you are hitting something out of the park. And right now, ECW, with Seth Rollins as the ECW champion, that is being knocked way out of the park. Corbin, you have to wait in line. It is not your turn to bat yet, because Seth Rollins is refusing to get off the plate. And why? Because every time Seth Rollins is on it, he is knocking it way out of the park. Right now, Corbin, you're a base hit at best. You've got to wait and you've got to train before you know how to swing for the fences. That victory over Rollins last week, you just got a lucky home run. Come Survivor Series, when you actually are forced to step up to that plate, when Seth Rollins lets you stand on home plate and he's the one throwing the ball at you, you're gonna strike out, you are going to fail, and you are going to walk off to the sidelines like so many have before, defeated and beneath the greatness that is Seth freaking Rollins. Don't know why I used a bunch of baseball analogies to explain that one, but the more you understand that, I guess. That just kind of goes to iterate, Just get him a point across, I guess. But Baron Corbin is, you know, he's getting ready. He's doing his training here. Samoa Joe, as I said, a tough opponent and a guy who is never afraid to beat someone down. And that's what Corbin's in for right now. Didn't put Rollins on ECW not because I wanted him to be in an advantage for this Sunday. That's not the case. If anything, the more time Corbin spends in a ring, and if Corbin gets a win right here over Joe, he can have more momentum, you know, he can have more of an advantage. Rollins always likes to spend the last week before the pay-per-view training himself up. And if I was to put him in a match, I don't think it would be fair, you know. He wants to train himself up. He wants to, you know, he always likes to have that week to maybe learn something new if needs be. And if I didn't give him that week to train, then I wouldn't be fair on our champion who's done so much for this brand. Whereas Baron Corbin, he always loves to fight. Week in and week out, day in and day out. Put someone in front of him and tell him you're fighting him, he'll be like, yeah, okay, that's fine with him. He's not going to oppose to it a few days before the pay-per-view, is he? No, he's Baron Corbin. He's one-dimensional. That's how he operates. Well, here he is operating right now, I guess, as he goes up against Samoa Joe. This is, of course, two big brawlers really going at it, and Joe is making him pay here, trying to make Corbin's, I guess you could say, inexperience. Corbin's been around for a little while, to be fair, but, you know, he's only recently been going on his own. He's not going to have that week in and week out, you know, knowledge from the Four Horsemen. He's going on his own. He's going solo. And he's got to learn from that. He's got to capitalize on that. And Samoa Joe, being a veteran that he is one incredibly tough athlete for him to endure. Baron Corbin here now brings him in with his own variant of a Falcon Arrow. Corbin and Joe have met in the past, and I believe it was, I think it was Samoa Joe who picked up the win on that one even on the night, and he'd be looking to try and do the same here again. Big stomp in the gut there to Baron Corbin and a kick in the back, but there's a count. Well, not really a counter by Joe, but he's able to fight on through it. Sends Corbin into the turnbuckle here. He's in a dangerous position. Think I know what Joe's looking for. There it is, the elbow and the corner in Zaguri. Corbin tried to stay on his feet, but he stood no chance of doing that. Corbin, though, able to respond right away and fight on here. Got him locked in that choke and choke STO. Kind of got to do anything to you, you know, anything for your advantage when it approaches you. That's exactly what Corbin is doing here. Corbin now might have been looking for the deep six, and Joe brought a quick stop to that one. Shining Wizard now by Samoa Joe, and this is, you know, Joe in his own right he's a great way of acting like Seth Rollins. You know, the speed of Joe and the moves he goes for, very much like moves you'd expect to see from Seth Rollins, and moves that very much so Seth Rollins will execute. So it is a good test for Baron Corbin. Of course, he did get the win over Rollins once, but can he do it twice? And can he do it when the title is on the line? Well, he's proven right here that he will do anything for victory. He's just busted open Samoa Joe. I didn't expect a hardhead like Joe to be busted open that easy. But Corbin is showing the strength in his shots. And here we go now. Deep six by Corbin. That came out of the blue. Seth Rollins, wherever he is, he's going to be paying close attention to this one, because Corbin is making life difficult for Samoa Joe right now. He's putting on an awful lot of hurt, and Joe's not doing a good job of fighting back here. Very surprising. There it is by Joe. Big forearm shot. Front face lock now, and oh, what a knee in the face of Baron Corbin. And with that back suplex now, can the Samoan submission machine perhaps get a little bit of a breather, get a little bit of an opening for himself? He's slowing the pace down a little, and I wonder when we're going to see maybe a Kakina clutch, a muscle buster. If Joe will go for any of that. There's a sidewinder powerbomb. Much faster than Braun Strowman's, but you know, you get the gist of it. Bringing him up to his feet here now. Will he go for that corner in Zaguri again? If he was, Corbin denied it. And Corbin all of a sudden, with the end of days to Samoa Joe. Wow, that one struck from nowhere. And oh, it's not victory as Joe kicks at it too. Corbin, though, just showed how, any moment that power move can be struck. And that's a good bit of work by Corbin there, just showing how Rollins needs to be aware of it. How he can just strike from, well, he can literally strike from left field, I guess, if we're going to continue the baseball analogies. Corbin, though, unable to put Joe away still as Joe fights on here. Got him up against the apron now. And puts him down on that second rope, but great evasion there by Baron Corbin. Can he continue to work here? Yes, he can. Counters that back suplex. The number one contender's looking great right now. Had a little bit of a slow start, but all of a sudden, he's had Joe at his worst year. Joe's been struggling a little bit, and a big flying clothesline sends Joe down. Corbin into the cover here as he looks for the win. Will he beat Joe? Not quite yet. As he kicks at it too. Joe needs to do something here if he wants to win. Oh my god, that came out of nowhere. That really did come out of nowhere. Here goes Joe now. His trifecta of suplexes. German, Dragon, Straight Jacket. Has connected. No bridge on this one. Maybe it was because he was so close to the ropes, and oh, what a knee in the face there. What I'm surprised by is the lack of finishing maneuver by Samoa Joe. No. Oh, I was about to say none of that, but this is one of his big ones. The power bomb with the bridge. And Corbin will kick out, only to get locked in. That Boston Crab. What an incredible transition it is by Joe. But Corbin's read it. Corbin's maybe has been in it before, and he knows how to get himself out of it. That was smart there by Corbin. Try to spend as least time as possible in that hold. Big elbow into the leg. There you take a leg out of any big man, and it really changes the complexion of how they have to compete in this one. Joe is using his power that has been there almost since, has been there since the moment the bell rang. It never seems to slip away from Samoa Joe, his power game. And that's something that Corbin has to take into effect. Big forearm shot there. He may be busted open, but one thing he's not is a quitter. And Samoa Joe's proving that. There's the elbows in the head, though. Corbin used it to his advantage. End of days again. Look at how quick it strikes. The cover now on Joe. And this one does it. Baron Corbin, your winner. And he had to fight, and he had to give a lot to get the win in that one. But there it is. Your winner, Baron Corbin. And I hope Seth Rollins is aware now that this Sunday may not be as easy as he thought. Speak of Rollins, here he is. Here's the champion. He came out of the blue. He came out of nowhere after Corbin. And Corbin trying to make him pay for it. Oh my god, this has backfired on Rollins as well. Corbin he was like he expected this to happen. Baron Corbin now fighting back against Seth Rollins. The blood on his hands showing how much he had to give in that battle. And Seth Rollins has been caught completely off guard here by Baron Corbin. Corbin now. The end of days to Rollins. Oh my god. He just caught the ECW champion with the end of days right before their bout at Survivor Series. I never thought I'd say this, and I don't think I've seen it before, but Rollins is heading in with his back up against the wall. Well, I have just been stunned sideways by what we saw, but we cannot dwell on it. We cannot turn our attention away from it, because for the first time here on ECW, the Elite are here in full force. Kenny Omega, awfully happy about what he did last, I can't say last night because it wasn't last night, but what he did on SmackDown Live to the leader of the Four Horsemen, Chris Jericho, and now his tag team partners will look to try and do the same to the tag team of the Four Horsemen here tonight. Roddy Strong and Apollo Crews. It's been a great, after what happens on SmackDown Live, you gotta say it's been a great time for the Elite this week. It's been a great last 2 weeks for them, really. with the Young Bucks retaining their tag team titles. And they main event a show once more. It may be a little bit hectic for the Bullet Club over on Raw, but this side of the Bullet Club, the SmackDown side, is waving the flag high heading into Survivor Series, and they're showing that they are not backing down. They're not scared. If anything, they are working at their very best right now. Almost a tale of two halves in regards to the Bullet Club. But at Survivor Series, it could be a clean sweep. I know one side will be a clean sweep. I just don't know about this one, because I want the Horsemen to win. Don't get me wrong. I really want the Horsemen to win. But at the same time, I feel as if I'm discrediting and being, biased towards my own brand. So it's tough, I'm in a bit of a tough predicament, but whichever team wins, I know they did it for the right reasons. At the end of the day, when Kenny Omega and Jericho, made this, we're talking about this match, they both agreed that it's not about brand supremacy. It's not about trying to prove that one brand is better than the other. It was just about proving which group was the best. And despite the words that went back and forth, despite the disrespect that was thrown around, that's it at the end of it all. Which group is the best? The Elite or the Horsemen? That is all that matters. One thing I think the Elite have the advantage with over the Horsemen is their experience factor. They've all got experience and they've all got a lot going for them. You think about the Horsemen heading into Survivor Series. Jericho is the most experienced out of them all, but he's hurt. Roddy's kind of in the middle, so I guess he's the one to watch out for. Cruz is young, he's brash, he's bold, he's got all of that going for him, he's got that fire within him. But the mistake there is also an advantage, I guess, in a way. He's young, he's inexperienced, he will make those easy mistakes. And when you're taking on someone of the caliber of athlete of the Elite, you make those tiny mistakes and you are going to pay for it for the rest of the match. That is how the Elite operate. That is how any great athlete who's had the experience will operate. One mistake and we're off to the races. Apollo Crews will just have to make sure he doesn't do that at Survivor Series. This is a great chance for Crews to put his stamp on the Four Horsemen, to put his stamp on ECW and show, I'm ready to take things to the next level. I'm ready to show that I can stand, and I'm ready to show that the Four Horsemen can help me every step of the way. But here we go right now. It's the main event of ECW. The Elite are on ECW. It's like a dream come true for me. And they are taking on the Four Horsemen. Matt Jackson trying to start things off against Roddy Strong here. A bit of collar and elbow wrestling to get us underway, and Roddy outclassed the start there. Very surprising to see. Would have thought Roddy Strong would have had the better start there, and he made Matt Jackson pay for getting the better start with that huge clothesline. Now Roddy wants to show, Matt Jackson how it's done. Brings him down there. Side headlock. Matt Jackson though gets out of it, using his agility to his advantage there. Oh, a big kick. What was that all about? A kick there. I don't know if it was in the throat or not. It was a little bit underhanded, but, and again, we are very lax with the rules here on ECW, so we'll let it slide. Look at the smug smile on Omega there on the outside. Probably just thinking about ECW in his mind, to be fair. Big brainbuster by Matt Jackson. And from the start, this has been a great one for the Elite. The Young Bucks are in control here. The tag team champs are having an absolute whale of the time right now. Matt Jackson doing things his way, and he cannot stop right now. Roddy Strong can't get a move in otherwise. Cover here on Strong early here. Only a 1 count. Apollo Crews trying to will the fans on here, trying to get them on the side of Roddy Strong. And that may well have panned out the way they wanted it to. Tiger bomb there by Strong into an early cover, just as we saw from Matt Jackson. But referee took a little bit of time getting into position there, and maybe that would have stopped him getting a 1 count. Certainly wouldn't have stopped him from getting the win. In the corner they go there, and the tag made. In comes Cruz now. Last time we saw the Horsemen in tag action, they had that incredible tag team bout against the Usos. And now taking on the champions, we'll see how big this one could be. In comes Nick Jackson now. Step up in Zaguri. And Apollo Crews goes down. Both men there. Mid-air collision. Kind of a stalemate, and just Nick Jackson picking up the pieces more so than anything. Reversal of the Irish whip in the corner. Look at that splash by Crews. Great bit of work there by Apollo Crews, and look at him go to work now. The youngster, the almost perfect athlete that he is. Incredible strength, amazing agility, and a mind that is geared towards having an incredible future within this roster as well. Lovely DDT. Nick Jackson had the speed from the moment he was tagged in, but Apollo Crews has turned this match back around into the favor of the Four Horsemen. Nice wrench to the neck there by Apollo Crews, perhaps slowing the pace down for a second. Entirely against how the Young Bucks works. They're all about speed. Oh, okay. They're all about speed. They're all about, taking it to the next level, I guess. And that was exactly what Apollo Crews stopped them from doing. But all of a sudden, Nick Jackson has control in this one over Crews. And it's not looking so good for the young upstart. Nice suplex there by Nick Jackson. Of course, I say about the experience factor the Young Bucks have, but there's not a big age difference between much of the people in this one. The Bucks and Apollo Crews, I believe, they're all in their 20s. Roddy, I think, might well be only in his early 30s, so he's got that going for. Oh my God! Matt Jackson there caught him in the middle of that punch and hit him so hard that Crews almost landed on his neck as a result of it. That looked rough for him. In the corner he goes, and almost killing two birds with one stone there as he caught Matt Jackson with that strike. Omega on the outside now, slipping a steel chair into the mix. Very interesting scenes. Oh my God, oh, there's the chair. Oh, Omega distracted the ref. Ref never saw it. He caught him with the chair. And now Nick Jackson, looked temporarily confused. He caught Crews with the chair there, but it was inadvertently, so the referee won't call for the bell there. Great work by Omega, but the opening hasn't really panned out the way they wanted it to. Crews is still going here. Still got Matt Jackson in trouble in the corner, and Nick Jackson and Matt Jackson will tag himself in here. Crews going to make him pay, though. Sends Matt Jackson to the corner. Uh-oh, this ain't looking good. Oh, double spear. Both men go down, and Omega getting involved now. Crews didn't really pay much attention to it at all there. He's more focused on the business at hand. Standing shooting star press, and the tag team champions are in trouble here. Cover on Matt Jackson, but he's out very early. Up to his feet here, and will he look for the tag now back into Roddy Strong? Indeed he will. There must be something about what happened on SmackDown that has geared the Four Horsemen in this way. After what they saw happen to their leader, they're trying to do anything for victory here. What a back suplex into a neck breaker. Matt Jackson immediately capitalizing into the cover, but Crews still kicking out early. What will we see for Matt Jackson now? Super kick! Been waiting a while for it, but we finally got one. The super kick into the cover, but it's still an early kick out from Crews now, who could well be isolated in this one so that the Young Bucks can gain control. Not the case though. Good forearm by Apollo Crews, and he's going to look for that tag into Roddy Strong again here, and again he's denied. Good stuff from Matt Jackson there, and he's sending him into the corner, waiting to make the tag into his brother. We know what's on his way. Crews may well be in trouble, and we could well be seeing this at Survivor Series. On the apron with the Indie Taker. That could be it. Crews could be out of it here. Cover on Crews. Strong in. He's stopped by Matt Jackson, but Crews kicked at it too. That was close. That one was very close indeed to be in victory for the Young Bucks. And look at this now as calamity almost happens in the ring. He's on his own here, I think. Yeah, he is. Apollo Crews is on his own in the ring. Strong made the save, but he's on his own right now. Frog splash by Nick Jackson. Crews is down. Strong is nowhere to be seen. Uh-oh, this is looking really bad now for the Horsemen, and it could be an incredible advantage on the night. In the corner now, the stomps into Crews again and again and again. Into the gut. Once again, trying to beat the life out of a member of the Four Horsemen. This is their mentality, trying to take the Horsemen, take them as far away from 100% as possible, and make it as improbable as possible of them walking out of Survivor Series with the win. That could well be a punctured lung, bruised ribs easily for Apollo Crews there. Strong in. Can he make the save? It doesn't matter because Crews kicks at it too. And Crews is almost out of it here. I'd be surprised if Crews can continue to fight on in this one. He is worn. He is beaten. And the Young Bucks know it. They circled him off on their side of the ring. They've beaten into Apollo Crews. And now there's almost nothing they can do. There's almost nothing the Crews can do to stop them from getting the win. Look at these repeated stomps. Crews up to his feet with what little he has left, trying to find an opening for himself here, and he's found just that. Overhead belly to belly. Can he make the tag here? He has looked so long for this tag into Roddy. Can he get it this time? Yes, he can. Tag made. Strong is in, and some life is brought into this match. Roddy Strong with a big kick in the back, and that could be the kick that wakes up the Horsemen in this one. Look at him go here, unloading away with chops and strikes, but oh, unloaded away to the outside as well. Matt Jackson makes the tag into his brother while he has the opening. Roddy now got to deal with Nick, and he's dealing with him right away. What a clothesline there. Doesn't matter which one he's got to take on. Roddy Strong will gladly take the fight to both of them. DDT there to Nick Jackson. I think he's on his own now for a lot of this match, but that doesn't seem to be bothering him one bit. Another DDT. Matt Jackson trying to get back in this matchup here, but Roddy Strong doesn't like the idea of that one happening. Oh, dumps him down there. Roddy Strong has come out of nowhere, brought life into the Four Horsemen again. But there's the too sweet from Nick Jackson, and he could have something in mind here. Off the second rope, and brings him down there with the head scissors. One little move, that was all he needed, and here he goes. Two clotheslines. Off the ropes, and a big pop-up drop kick there. Nick Jackson feeling it now. And will he make the tag into Crews? He will. Crews is back in now. Here goes Crews in this one. I can't believe Apollo Crews wanted back in, but he did. But oh, look at how quickly he was sidestepped there. Was that a smart decision by the Four Horsemen? I don't know, but they're paying for it. Tombstone by Nick Jackson. And that is just one. Oh my God, look at the blood on Crews's face now. They isolated him, and it's paid off. In position now. Matt Jackson will hold him up. Here it comes again. The Indie Taker. This one's gotta be it. Into the cover with 1, 2, 3. The Elite win it. A clean sweep for them here on the shows. And will it be a clean sweep at Survivor Series? Oh my God. Apollo Crews got beaten down there. The blood poured as far as his chest. And the Elite stand atop it all as your winners. Is that the tale of Survivor Series? Is that what we will see when the Horsemen and the Elite mix it up? Will it be a clean sweep for both sides of the Bullet Club is the real question to ask. Well, after what's happened this week, you'd be high in tail to try and disagree with it, because it has been an incredible week for the Bullet Club. And they may well pop it off, finish it off with a clean sweep on Survivor Series and prove once and for all that they are better than the 4 Horsemen. Survivor Series is looking incredible. I cannot wait for it. Due to the complications of this week, we will not be having NXT, so we'll see you for NXT TakeOver Toronto, and then we get into Survivor Series. What a night it's going to be. See you then. See you in Toronto. Thank you for watching. Take care, guys, and ta-ra.